the power of slow and steady wins the race is real. It's not sexy. It doesn't sell exercise programs, but it's very, very real. And people say, well, I've got a wedding in 6 weeks. My class reunion is in a month. I've got to lose 30 pounds before the cruise. Well, see, that's all the kind of thinking that I used to do. And I gained and lost over 1,000 pounds in my life. People like me are not weak. In fact, it's just the opposite. People battle their weight are the strongest, most disciplined. And I know this because my skinny girlfriend would not go on a 2-month aloe cleanse for anything. That will not happen for her. But if you battle your weight and just gear up for stuff, I'm going to do it, and you do it. Well, that kind of mentality of gearing up for intensity, it always has a fall off. Not because of lack of discipline or weakness, but because it is what it is. A gear up requires a recharge. But if I take the intensity out of it, and I allow time to be my friend, and I allow the procession of slow and steady wins the race and a drop a day, I can accomplish marvelous, marvelous things. So here we go. How to take the sting out of exercise. First of all, I don't even call it that, I call it activity. It should never hurt. No pain. If you're getting a message from your body that it's hurting, that's a healthy message. And it means please modify or change your shoes or change your workout partner or do something different. Kind of intuitive, right? Right? Because if I'm hurting, can I get up tomorrow and do it? And remember the guy who walked for a year? That year yields remarkable results. That drop in the jar, that's what yields remarkable results. That habit is far more valuable to me than the energy expended. Because I want my body to burn fat while I'm sleeping. And if I stop exercising, I can't hear my body as much, and my metabolism slows down. So, to be active and to have a lifetime of activity, no pain. Secondly, remember I talked about how good we are at gearing up? If you're fat, you're just really good at gearing up for stuff. Well, I don't want to be that kind of person, remember? I wanted to be a healthy, thin person. And a healthy, thin person doesn't do that kind of gear up. They just kind of, okay, put on my shoes and go do it, and they, don't hurt themselves, and then they're done, and then they go on with their day. And they get up the next day, and they don't have any soreness, because they didn't kill themselves. So I said, why don't I take all that intense energy? The stuff I told you that I used to do before I had my moment in the hospital room? That was a lot of intense energy. I took all that intensity and said, what if I put it into moderation? What if I become intense about my moderation? So what does moderate exercise look like? Tell me, what do you think moderate exercise entails? Yes?
It depends on where you're at.
Exactly. She said it depends on where you're at. To be moderate depends on where you're at. Alicia?
Well, the word moderate would come from mode, which would be the same as an average, almost a mean is what you would do most of the time. It's a most. Mode is equals most.
Okay, so what do you do most of the time? In the middle. Yeah, and I think what you mean by that was do it to the level to which you are at right then, right? Because we read stuff and we say, oh gosh, I got to get my heart rate up to a certain level for 35, 45, 50 minutes. Well, 250 pounds plus, I was morbidly obese. So I put on my shoes when I got home from the hospital, and I walked to the end of the block and back. It took me 5 minutes, and I did that for about 2 weeks. And then I thought, okay, I've mastered the 5 minutes. I will go on to 10. And I did, because it's not a race. Having a lifetime of activity is not about out-kicking the other kickboxers in the class. Then after 10 minutes, I went to 20, and then to 30. And I find now, here's what my workout looks like now. I walk, swinging these little elbows, and I walk, and about 10 minutes into it, I decide, okay, I'm warmed up now a little bit, I'm going to shuffle. And I say, honey, look at me, I'm a runner. I'm running. And he says, and he's walking normal pace beside me. I'm running. And he says, no, you're walking. Actually, you're kind of shuffling. Actually, your grandma could meet you with her walking. And I'm saying, my thing. And after about 15 minutes of that, I go back to the elbow swinging walk thing. I feel marvelous. And I can get up again the next day and do it, because to be a healthy thin person, I had to transform all those extreme thoughts into moderate thoughts. So another way to tell if you're moderately active is that you can talk while you're doing it, right? Also, it kind of leaves you feeling invigorated, or you feel happy. You know it's too extreme if you got that runner's face. We've all seen them, right? Oh, they just. If I ever get that face, I really need to power down a bit. Okay, so no pain, moderate. The third thing is, I don't think there's anyone in the room who has a time machine that can take you to tomorrow, is there? No? No real time machine, right? Is there anyone in the room who has a time machine that can take you to yesterday? No? Okay, so we can't go to tomorrow and do tomorrow's work. Not really. We can't go back to yesterday and make up for the cheesecake that I ate yesterday. So, what do we have? We have today. And people who accomplish great things in this world, they understand this concept well. That to do great things, things that take time, we have to just get today's work done. Because in truth, no one here has a promise of tomorrow. Do you? I'm an optimist. I think it's going to happen. But what I have to work with really is today. So instead of worrying about 50 years of activity and an exercise program, I'm just going to ask myself, today, can I get my hydration? Today, can I be moderately active in a way that's fun and doesn't hurt? Just today, can I hear my body ask for something? Can I respond and honor it? Today, can I really taste what I'm putting in my mouth? Decide what to think about it. Is there anybody here who can't do any of those things? Does this sound doable? Raise your hand if this sounds doable. Okay. No, you're fine. So I want to share a little bit more of my story. So 6 months into my journey, I was listening to my body, and I was being active, and I had sort of worked up to, I guess, about 35 minutes of walking, and I thought I was hot stuff. And I got on the scale, and I hadn't lost 1 pound. I was devastated. Because it took a lot of effort to coordinate, putting on my stretchy pants and going out, you know, doing the whole bit, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I thought, well, that's it. I'm bagging it. I'm bailing. I'm just going to be a fatty. And I decided, I had this beautiful daughter, and I thought, you know, ultimately I do want to model a lifestyle of being active for this girl. And that's the kind of life and home I want to have. Oh, okay, fine. I'll keep exercising. I'll just be a healthy fatty. But I had an idea. I know what I can do. I can go on a diet. Right? Now that'll help me this way. Well, here's what I learned. Okay, and I'll be very brief about this, so we have a little time for Q&A. This is my favorite chapter of my book, too. It's called Diets Make You Fat. Diets are a temporary vacation from these behaviors that got me out of balance in the first place. Remember how we talked earlier about how when we get exactly what we need, and you kind of envisioning what you need, then our metabolism goes up, right? Well, let's say I'm on somebody's diet, okay? And I'm following the plan, I'm watching the paper, or I'm eating the prepackaged food, or I'm drinking the powdered shake, or I'm eating the bars, or heaven forbid, I inject something or take a pill. And I'm doing that stuff, then my body starts to say, Trey, you need an orange. Oh, but I can't because it's not part of my thing today. I'm off carbs or off fruit, whatever it is. I can't have it. So now I'm in calorie restriction. And my weight does come down for a little bit, but so does my metabolism. Because my engine's not burning hot, because it's not getting exact. It's crying out, it's saying, please, we want some of this high-value fuel. And it's not on the diet, I can't have it. So I lose weight, but my metabolism goes down. Well, then the diet ends, because diets are inherently temporary. They are not designed to last forever. No diet is, because who really wants to live, you know, like that? mean, it takes a lot of gearing up because we know it's going to be awful. Quite truthfully, who wants to live without bread for the rest of their life? Who wants to live without butter? Now, there are people who can't for medical reasons, but in general, I'm saying, in general, we don't want to live without a treat for the rest of our lives. So now I go back to my original behaviors with a slower metabolism because the diet is ended, and it's not because I'm weak, it's just the way it was designed. And my weight starts to balloon. And I might even have some nasty habits that I picked up from the diet, like wanting a chocolate shake twice a day. And then at the beginning of the diet, when you're reading about it or it's being described to you, it sounds so wonderful, and you envision what it's going to be like when you're finally thin. And you're at your ideal, your goal weight, we've heard that term, right? Okay. And like the light comes down on your head, and you go, At the end of the diet, there's this little tiny bit of fine print. It's the maintenance phase. Has anyone ever heard of that? Okay. Well, if you haven't, the maintenance phase is at the end of the diet, and it's a fine print, and they say, now eat sensibly and exercise regularly, and you'll be fine. We're not going to help you with any of that. You're going to do that all by yourself. Well, here's a thought. Skip the diet, which is the part that makes you fat, and just start with the maintenance phase, which is free. Save your money, right? And you say, I don't want to maintain, I want to lose. Well, that's just marketing. Because when we get into touch with our body, when we tune in and start to give it what it needs, we eat sensibly, our bodies take on the ideal shape. So, that's why I love chapter 3 so much.